Lord your God with all your heart, soul. I've been coming to this fishing hole for a long, long time, and I don't ever remember seeing this many people here. I know it's a good fishing hole, but geez. You don't mind if I join you, do you? My name's Simon. Some people call me Rock. Not that rock. Not like I'm going to lay the smack down on your rock. No, that's the rock. I'm more of a rock. Of course, some people just call me Pope. I don't know if you know that about me, but I was the first Pope. But of course, my wife, she says I shouldn't go around telling people that I was the first Pope because that smacks of, what was the word she used? Hubris. Smacks of hubris. Kind of sounds like a side dish at a Lebanese restaurant. I want a kebab with a side of hubris. But my wife, she's kind of smart. She uses big words like that. I think she gets it from her mom. Both of them are kind of like smarty pants. I've been fishing for a long time. It's what I like to do, just to kind of go collect my thoughts. And, I don't know, just get away from it all. Get away from my wife. Not that I don't love her. She's great. But my wife and my mother-in-law and just the daily grind. Goodness, I've been going for a long, long time. My uncle's actually the one who taught me how to fish. You see, my dad died when I was pretty young. He was the wrong place at the wrong time for the right reasons. A lot of people die when they're in the wrong place at the wrong time for the right reasons. My dad was a fisherman by trade, but it hadn't been a really good spring for us, so he took an extra trip out on the Sea of Galilee, and this storm came out of nowhere and capsized the boat, and there were no survivors. I was really young. My brother Andrew was just a little bit older than I was. And so my uncle kind of stepped up and kind of took care of us. And he's the one who taught me how to fish. And he would do this thing while we were fishing. He would say weird things to me. Like, Simon, if you want to catch the good fish, then you have to go deeper. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense, Uncle. All the good fish I've ever eaten are like in the shoals and in the shallows, but I think what he was trying to do was tell me what's the word? Metaphor. He was telling me a metaphor using fishing as a way to describe life. And then he would say something like, you know, it doesn't matter if you catch anything, the perfect cast has value in and of itself. I still have no idea what he meant by that. But then when he would fish, he would always sit there and he would hum this song that goes like this. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. He's the only person I've ever known to actually hum that tune until one day I'm working with the Zebedee boys and my brother, Andrew, on a boat. And this guy named Joshua, who we had heard a little bit about, comes by the seashore, and he's humming this song that I'd only heard my uncle ever hum. Love the Lord your God. And then he said something as weird as my uncle used to say. He said, Simon Peter. And he's really the only person ever to use my first name and my nickname at the same time. Simon Peter, come with me, and I'll make you fisher of men. And I was hooked. Get it? Because I'm a person. And I went off with him. And it was the grandest adventure I've ever been on in my life. He did so many miraculous things. He healed people. He taught people. He went into the synagogues and he got people all riled up in there. And we just did one thing after another, after another, after another, and it was just such an amazing ride with him. And I knew there was something special about him. And then one day, we're tired. Goodness, are we tired? And we just want to go fishing. And we show up back at the Sea of Galilee, and there's just this multitude of people there. And he said, Simon Peter, we ought to feed these people. And I'm not really proud of what I said after that. My response to him saying we should feed these people was, do I have to? I was tired. I didn't want to deal with people anymore. And he pulled me aside. Joshua always had this way about him. He never chastised me in front of others except this one time when I called him the Messiah, and he said that I should get behind Satan. I don't really remember exactly or understand what he meant by that, but he never really chastised me in person, and so he pulled me off to the side. He said, Simon Peter, I'm a little disappointed with your response to my saying that we ought to feed these people. It's not that you have to, it's that you get to. You get to do stuff. And that's a blessing, getting to do stuff. And so whenever I feel like my life is just kind of overwhelming and getting out of control, or I just feel like I just got this list of things to do over and over and over and over again, I try to remember what Joshua told me there, that I don't have to do it. I get to do it. I get to wake up every morning. I get to interact with my wife and my kids. I get to do the good work of helping others. That's where the blessing is. But honestly, I don't, you got anything that you really regret? There's one thing I really, really regret. See, I got this name Rock as a nickname because I'm solid. People tell me that I'm a solid guy. You need an ear, I'm a good ear. You need a shoulder, I'm a good shoulder. You need a strong back, I'm a good strong back. I'm solid. You can rely on me. You can trust me. But then all of a sudden, all the fun and games went away. And it got bleak. And when the proverbial caca hit the fan, as they say, I'm just kind of sad to say I didn't respond like a rock. I was a coward. And I'm not proud of it. In fact, I still wake up to this day with the night sweats, just bolting up out of bed, and my wife will say, "Are you okay?" And I just had that dream again, where I wish I would have responded a little bit better. I've been in recovery now almost 5 years. Next week, I get my 5-year coin. I am so proud of this, because when you've seen the things that I'd seen and done the things that I'd done, and when you see how badly it ended there for a moment, it could drive a person to drink. And I indulged just a little bit too much. I scratched that itch just too many times. But I'm in recovery, and I've got this great sponsor named Paul. That's an inside joke, y'all. And whenever I get in this shame spiral and I just can't seem to get out of it, and I can't seem to believe that the world is turning and I'm not going with it anymore, then I call Paul. Yeah, we got phones in the first century, and I'll call Paul and I'll say to him, "Paul, I just need a drink. I just need a drink. That's all. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to drink." And he'll say, "Simon, hang up the phone. Go to the cupboard and get a piece of bread, some challah, if you will, some peanut butter, because that's been invented, and some jelly, and make yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, cutting off the crust because that's disgusting. and then eat it. And when you're done, call me back. And you know, almost every single time when I take a moment to slow down and make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, cutting off the crust and eating it, I call him back and he'll say, "How do you feel? Do you want a drink?" And I'll say, "No, I don't want a drink." He said, "That's because you recalibrated your mind. You got it out of the thing that you were thinking about and you got it onto something that you could wrap your mind around." And I think that's what Joshua was trying to tell me back at the shore of the Sea of Galilee. That whenever I'm in this shame spiral, if I just take a moment and I make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and whether I eat it myself or whether I give it away, that there's grace in getting to do the good work. There's grace for me. Even though I did some really, really horrible things that I'm not proud of, there's grace. And I get it. Well, my wife says I talk too much. The first time I gave a sermon, 4,000 people joined the church. The next time I gave a sermon, someone was so bored they fell out of a window. Look it up. So I'm going to go on to my next hole. Maybe I'll catch something there. Maybe some people. Thanks for listening to me. Have a great day, y'all. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind.